Creating an online course can be a great way to monetize your expertise and build a thriving online business that can generate income for you while you sleep. However, course creation can be a really daunting task, and there's so many things to do. It can be overwhelming at times and time consuming to get your course up and running. And that I find is a stumbling block for a lot of people, having the idea for the course maybe, but then just not knowing quite the steps to take, or it just seeming like, such a daunting thing to get going with. Well, that's where the power of AI, artificial intelligence, can come in to really help. And whilst AI should never replace you and your knowledge, it certainly can streamline many of the tasks involved in online course creation, reducing the time required to launch and monetize your course. And it can be just used as a general sort of framework to help you, map out the steps involved. And that's what we're going to be talking about today in this video. And specifically, I'm going to be focusing on Kajabi and also ChatGPT. However, if you're not using those platforms, then these sort of principles will apply if you are someone thinking about or currently creating courses online. So basically, there has been an explosion in AI tools in recent months. You're probably, unless you've been under a rock, will have heard lots about all sorts of new tools that are coming about. And obviously, the one that I've just mentioned there, ChatGPT, is somewhat of a hot topic most recently. Now, seemingly every tech company is now also looking at how they can incorporate AI into their platforms, their services, and Kajabi is one of the latest that is venturing into this space, having teased that there is soon going to be a suite of AI tools available for Kajabi. So today, that's what we're going to be looking at: Course Creator AI, and specifically focusing on initially the Kajabi AI tools, but then we'll look sort of more broadly at the various steps required in the course creation process, because I think this is, as I mentioned earlier, the way that some people find this as an initial stumbling block, not sure where to start with creating an online course, and to monetize your expertise. So we'll be looking at the different 12 steps involved in creating a course, and then we'll shift into looking at how you can actually use ChatGPT and other AI platforms at every step of the way along that process. And we're going to go through and do an example of this for creating a course. I'm going to use a sort of dummy course, which is kind of not so dummy. It's kind of an idea that I've had. And we'll go through the process of seeing how you can use ChatGPT specifically for creating all of those steps. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll realize how powerful this is. And as I say, I'm not suggesting you just create a course entirely using AI and suddenly you don't have to be an expert in the field. You've still got to know what you're talking about, but this will, as you'll see, be a really great way to provide that initial sort of framework for your course. So the first thing then that I want to talk about, as I mentioned, was these new AI tools that are coming into Kajabi. So if I go over to Kajabi, this has been teased. You've probably got an email if you are an existing Kajabi user. These tools are in beta at the moment. And basically, this is what it looks like so far. And by the way, there's a link in the description to get your free trial of Kajabi. If you use my link, by the way, then you'll get an extended free trial. So the regular trial, I think, is 15 days. If you use my link, you will get a 30-day free trial. Also, if you use my link, you'll also get access to all of my Kajabi training, current and future, totally complimentary. So you can feel free to try that out as well to really help you get the most out of Kajabi. I digress. Anyway, let's have a look at these AI tools. And it's pretty rudimentary at the moment. Well, I say rudimentary. This would have been massively powerful just a few months ago. But in terms of what it can do, we've got, as you can see, course outline, email content, landing pages, and course lessons. So these are obviously 4 individual stages of a sort of course creation process. So if I just come over to here, what you're basically going to do is type in a topic. I have already done some of this in advance just to save the time. But let's say I was going to write a beginner's guide to Kajabi, for example. Then if I put in here course topic and typed in beginner's guide to Kajabi, it's a bit meta. This isn't really using Kajabi tools to write a course about Kajabi, but you substitute whatever your area of focus is. So click in here and then generate course outline. And as I said, this is something that a lot of people struggle with. Is just they might well be an expert in their field, but understanding how to break something down into a manageable course is one of the initial things that you're going to have to do. There are a few more steps, but we'll look at that in a moment. So if I click on generate course outline, it says it's going to take up to a minute. So let's start the timer. But basically, this is going to come up with a course outline, as you will see, and so that's going to really give you an initial start in terms of the sort of overall framework of your course. I'll just say a quick hello while that's doing its business to Rich. Hi, Rich Graham in the chat. Obviously, we've got also Peter in the Discord as well. And Jeff's just popped in there as well. So hey to you. Hi, Roderick. Great to see you here as well. And this has now done its little job here. So it's now showing us introduction to Kajabi. What is Kajabi? Benefits of Kajabi. Creating a course on Kajabi. Creating a course outline. Adding content to your course. Creating a landing page. So it's basically giving us the outline for the whole course. And as I say, this seems a bit meta because it's a course about Kajabi. Let's talk about something else though. Beginners, let's say a course about, what should we call it? Let's try something a little bit tricky. Let's try Ecamm Live, because that is quite niche. It's not a broad topic. It is a specific piece of software. So let's see what would happen if I get asked for an outline to a Ecamm Live masterclass, since I have one of those already. We'll see how good this is, because it's not really a topic, is it? It's a specific piece of software. So we'll just see what it comes out with this. By the way, when I said earlier that this is all quite rudimentary, what you'll see later on in the video is using ChatGPT rather than using these very prescriptive formulas in terms of what it is you are creating. With ChatGPT, you can be a lot more sort of nuanced about the sort of output that you're going to get. So here we've got introduction to Ecamm Live, advanced features of Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live, by the way, in case you were living under a rock on my channel, is the software that I use to produce my live streams and all of my videos. It's also the software I use in course creation, so definitely recommend checking that out. Use of layouts, scenes, media, streaming to YouTube. So, I mean, it's done a reasonable job of just giving it an initial outline. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that. But you can see how this basically works, though. You're going to put in a topic, create course outline, and it will give you an outline. And just creating an initial draft for an outline for a course, I think that this is a really sort of powerful feature, really, to just give you that. Next, we've got email content, but I would say that these are in a bit of a funny order, really, because I would suggest that you're going to do the course outline. You're probably then going to be doing course lessons. You may then even create your landing page for the course, and then you're going to be sending people through it by email marketing. So perhaps a more logical order for this would be course outline, course lesson, landing page, email marketing. But anyway, what I've done here is this is just these ones that I've pre-populated to save us having to wait every time. So the course outline, I did again the Kajabi beginner's guide, then the course lesson. So here we've got a list of course lessons. So introduction to Kajabi being the first sort of module. So then I went to the course lesson tab here, and I just picked one of those at random. So the lesson topic is benefits of Kajabi, and what you can see there then is when you click generate course lesson, it's actually giving you pretty much a script for that particular lesson. Quick hello to James Hicks, just popped into the Discord backstage area as well. This is basically giving you a lesson outline. So if you are you've got your overall course outline. Now you want to know what to put in the videos. This is going to give you a good starting point. And I really can't emphasize this enough. This is a starting point in order to give you an idea of structure. You want to be going in and obviously adding your own unique voice to this and your own knowledge and insights. Don't take anything that comes out of AI as a given. It's just literally an initial start. But certainly this is going to help in terms of having a structure for a video. So the next thing then would be, and by the way, I've not read through all of this text for you, but just to say that it's, as an initial stab at it, it's reasonably good. So then we come, and I would say that ChatGPT can be better still than this. So then we would come on to, I would recommend the landing page. So here you're just going to type in what you want to create the landing page for. So Kajabi Beginner's Guide. And you can see here we've got a little bit more formatting here. So this is Unlock Kajabi Mastery, a little introduction to it. And then the sign up, which would obviously be the sign up to the course. And then you've got these sort of three value propositions that you often see on landing pages. So it's got some sort of formatting there in terms of how you may lay this out on your landing page. and then obviously the call to action there and the sign up button. By the way, at every stage, you have the option in all of these things. So the lessons, the email creator, email content, course outlines, and so on. It asks, do you like this or not? So you can give sort of feedback. So the Kajabi AI, I'm not sure what they're using as their back end, by the way, for this, but it has the ability to learn, whether it's doing a good job. So always recommend giving feedback one way or the other. And so then the next one then, and by the way, the text for this is again reasonable. I would say that if you're going to be doing a sales landing page for something, you could probably do something a little bit better and more sort of full featured. This not featured, but a bit better text anyway. But we'll come on to that with the in the ChatGPT section. And then the final one would be email content generator. So this is a sales email generator. What's the course? It's the same course again. So this would be the email that you could send out to your customers or your email database, I should say. Now, here I would say that it's really not doing a particularly great job in my estimation of how an email should be structured for this kind of thing. So let's just quickly read through this. Hi, customer name. Are you struggling to get your business off the ground with Kajabi? Are you looking for a comprehensive guide to help you understand the basics of Kajabi? Look no further. Our Kajabi Beginner's Guide is the perfect course to help you get started. Now, as a sentence, that's fine, as an introduction. But it says here, for just insert price, you can get access to our course and learn all the basics of Kajabi. Now, typically, I wouldn't recommend that you're going to be putting the price right up here up top. Normally, you would go through the process of giving the value that you're going to provide, any testimonials and things like that to really, sell the value first before giving the price. So I'd say that they've probably got the order slightly wrong there in terms of a typical, promotional email about something like this. But nevertheless, it says for just insert price, you can get access to our course and learn the basics of Kajabi or whatever it is your particular course is. Click here to purchase, add a link to course. And then our beginner's guide to Kajabi offers the following benefits. And so there you can see what it's doing there. So it's reasonable, as I say, as an initial first draft, but I would probably want to be changing around certainly the ordering and the formatting of some of this just a little bit. So that is basically the initial offering that Kajabi's got. I would say that this is going to be really heavily developed over the coming months. Just last week, it didn't have the course lessons section here. It was just outline, email content, landing pages, and course lessons. This at the moment is a sort of beta feature, so it's just a standalone page where you can go and do all of these, try out all of these things, and I've left a link in the description. But I would imagine that this is going to become far more integrated as we go forward into the Kajabi platform itself, whereby they're going to be, having it actually on the page, at the point of creating emails and things like that, rather than just sort of slightly separate. But nevertheless, it's great to see them starting to integrate it. But I do say that you could probably do a far better job than this using ChatGPT, and we'll talk about exactly what that is and how it works. But basically, it's more of a natural language type platform. So rather than just having very prescriptive things like a sales email generator, for example, you can ask it very specifically or tell it very specifically exactly what you want to do. So we'll look at that in just a moment. But first, I thought it would be useful to talk about the various different stages of course creation. And this can be split down into 12 steps. It could be split down into many or fewer, but basically this is the way that I've split it down for you today. So the 12 steps are to identify your niche. This may be something that you are, is blatantly obvious to you. It's your field of expertise, but there are still some ways that we can use AI throughout this. So what I'm going to do is list these 12 steps, and then we'll look at how you can use ChatGPT at each one of these steps to sort of help with you along the process of creating your course. After identifying your niche, choosing your topic. Now, there is one barrier, I think, to a lot of people creating courses, that they feel like they have to create the ultimate masterclass of the entire field that they're talking about. And that can be something that, immediately puts up a wall, because maybe they think, well, I'm okay at this one part of it. I may be a real expert in this one area, but maybe not in other areas of it. And so you don't need to feel that you've got to create a course that is all encompassing about everything to do with that topic. I was talking with our Creators Pod group just the other day about Tom Buck, who created his Final Cut course, and the way that he positioned it was Final Cut can do loads of things, and I'm not necessarily suggesting that I can teach you everything that it can do, but I can certainly teach you the way that I use it to produce my videos. And I thought that was a really great positioning statement, because people who are wanting to take his course obviously are going to be people who love his excellent style of presentation and his videos on his Tom Buck YouTube channel, and so who better to learn from than someone who you really admire. And framing it in that way was, a really good way of doing it. So that can be the same for you. You don't necessarily have to cover everything. It could be just teaching somebody the way that you do something yourself, or even just focusing right in on a really small specific part of that. So don't be afraid to go down to sort of micro courses that are really focused in on very specific niches. So choosing the topic, we'll look at how you can use AI a little bit within that as well. Then obviously researching the topic. So before you just go headlong into the course, it's useful to do a little bit of research, I would say, to make sure that you're covering all the bases, even if you have got your own level of understanding that you're going to be teaching. Always good to do a little bit of research about it as well. Then there is the outlining of the course. Now, we've already seen Kajabi's course outliner, so we'll be looking at how you can do something similar with ChatGPT and maybe expand on that a little bit as well. Then you're going to create the content. And once again, we saw the course lesson generator from Kajabi. So we'll be looking at how to do that with ChatGPT as well, and maybe take it to a bit of a higher level as well. Next would be setting up the platform. Well, that's a step, not much AI involved in that, although you could ask it to recommend some platforms. I would obviously recommend Kajabi. I'll say once again, if you want to get your free trial of Kajabi, you can click my link, which is in the description and in the chat, and that will get you a 30-day free trial of Kajabi and all the future training that I do on this subject as well. So the next step then would be to price your course. And this is something that I think people struggle with, is knowing where to position it and the pricing. Well, we can use AI a little bit to help us, give us at least some guidance with that and some other ideas. And that's really what AI, I find, is doing. It's basically giving you some shortcuts to get some content or a framework for some content, but you can also use it for just idea generating, even when it comes to things like pricing, as we'll see in a moment. And then you're going to have to create some sort of launch plan. We can use AI for that. Create the sales page. We've already seen the landing pages that we saw in the Kajabi AI tools. So we can do something similar and slightly more advanced as well with ChatGPT. Then you may want to create a lead magnet. So incidentally, if you want to get a whole load more information about everything that I'm going through today, then you can get my lead magnet, which is basically a free guide that goes through all of these 12 steps and gives you some very specific prompts that you can use. So you can download that at takeonetech.io/AI, and that is my guide revolutionizing the course creation process with AI. A step-by-step guide. And as I say, it goes through these 12 steps, but then gives you some very specific prompts that you can use at every step of the way. And guess what? I use some AI in the creation and the outlining of this document, but I'll show you how I did that as well as we go on through this video. The next step then would be to create a promo video as part of the launch process, so we can use AI to generate scripts and things like that. And then finally is to launch the course, and that can be through promotion on social media, email marketing, and so on. And there's a tons of ways that we can use AI in all of those steps. So then let's look at how we can actually use AI to do that. And I'm specifically, as I mentioned, focused on ChatGPT. And so I thought it'd be useful to just start with exactly what ChatGPT is, because maybe you aren't aware of it just yet. And then we'll look at how you can use that in each of those steps. And we'll go through all 12 of the steps and see where we can what we can do with that. So I'll leave a link to ChatGPT in the description, and I've dropped one in the chat as well. But ChatGPT is essentially, as I mentioned, a sort of natural language platform that allows you to have essentially a conversation with this artificial intelligence. And it's all done by text, although there are some great videos on how you can, link this with Siri. So you're speaking and it's going to give you these outputs, but you'll see what it's like as we go through. It was totally free up until recently, and it's still free, although they have added now a monthly subscription, because basically once they open this up, it was just flooded with people, and it's meant that in some cases it had become a little bit slow, or it was unavailable at peak times when there were too many people using it. So basically there is now a paid tier, which is a subscription, which is $20 a month, which I immediately signed up to make sure that you've got sort of immediate access to it and it's not restricted in any way. However, everything that I'm going to talk about, you can try out today in the free version as well. By the way, OpenAI, who have made ChatGPT, have developed it. It is the back end for a lot of these other AI copywriters and things like that, such as Jarvis being one of them. There's quite a few others in the market, and so they're using this technology sort of on the back end of those. But this is basically just an interface, and it was developed as well for basically like chatbots and things like that, where you've probably been on a help desk or something like that for a piece of software where you're typing in something and then it's coming back with responses, and you can kind of tell that it's not quite right. It's not quite human. Well, this is the sort of technology that is built on as well. Anyway, so let's have a look at exactly how it works. And the interface of ChatGPT is about as basic as it comes. It's just a box here, and you can type in it. So let's start by typing something really simple, shall we? Let's say you wanted to write you wanted to get some ideas for a blog post. We'll just step away from course creation for a moment and just show you how this works. Let's say I wanted to write a blog post. Well, let's keep it with course creation. Let's say I wanted to write a blog post about creating online courses. I could say list 5 blog post titles about creating online courses. So I'm going to just type that in there, and then I'm going to hit this, and then it's going to come back with a response, and it's going to give me 5 titles, just as I've asked for. 5 key steps to creating a successful online course, the ultimate guide to creating engaging online courses, maximizing student engagement, tips for creating effective online courses, the idea to launch, a step-by-step guide to creating your first online course. I quite like that one, actually. So let's just say, I'll just tell it, I like the 4th one. This is just to demonstrate the fact that it is very conversational. Great, here's a possible outline for the post. So we've gone from it giving me 5 titles to choose from to now it's giving me an outline for the post. And it's actually giving me more than an outline. It's almost writing the post for me. I could actually expand on this, saying, to write a much longer post, but I'm not doing anything. It is just generating all of this stuff for me. Yeah, I mean, it says it was giving me an outline. It's actually gone and just basically written a pretty good outline. As I say, you would want to go through and read all of this and just make sure that it is, an initial starting point for your own views and opinions rather than just blindly posting it, because it is basically just it's going to have gaps depending on what you're talking about. I mean, if you're doing something hyper niche anyway, then it could be off. It's not going to be great for everything. But this as just an overall outline for this post: define your course concept, plan your course structure, choose a platform, create and refine your course materials, launch and promote your course. I mean, that is basically a 5-step thing, which has kind of covered those 12 steps that I was talking about. So it's pretty good at just these sorts of things. But hopefully there, just with those couple of simple commands, you can see what I mean by, first of all, it's natural language. You're just actually literally conversing with it, but also that it is a conversation. You can be, refer to the previous things. It's not just, you're typing in one thing, you get a response, you type in another, you get a separate response. It is all linked as a conversation. And by the way, over on the left-hand side, just out of view here, but you have various different conversations. So you can come back to this conversation and pick up where you left off at any time. And you could start a completely new conversation about another topic or something like that with it. So that is in essence how it works. So what I'm going to do here, though, is I'm just going to talk about these 12 steps. And the first one was to identify your niche. And as I say, you may be pretty clear on exactly what that is and who your target audience is. But on the other hand, there may be some sort of gaps in terms of, who your course may be suitable for that you might not have thought about. And so you could simply ask it something like, so I'm going to stick with this concept of, I'm going to make a course which is designed for beginners, creating courses using Kajabi. Who would have thought it? So if I just type in here, who would be interested in a course about Kajabi? It can give me some answers there. So this is where, like, obviously online course creators, obviously online entrepreneurs, but you may find that just by asking questions like this, even at this really early stage, you're going to get some answers that might surprise you. And so, for example, okay, obviously online entrepreneurs, course creators are going to be interested in Kajabi and therefore may be interested in my course. But oh yeah, coaches and consultants, that may have been an area that I might not have thought about. As it happens, most of my consulting clients are themselves coaches and consultants. But this is the point of it, is it may throw up something that you're not expecting and may give you some more ideas of potential groups that you could target with your course. So then I talked about as well choosing your topic within your specific niche. That was the second step, deciding on what are you actually going to focus on. Well, let's just talk about that then here. I mean, how do we decide? Am I going to make an overall course that covers absolutely everything to do with online course creation? Or is there some smaller niche that I could focus on? So I'm going to ask it, list 10 course topic ideas within the niche of online course creation, and we'll see what it throws up. And actually what it's doing here is it's giving us effectively some kind of working titles almost for those courses. And I always find that when I'm creating courses, once I've got a title for something, it's really becomes a lot easier to actually visualize that course and it starts to become more real rather than just having a broad topic. So here you can see what it's done. Sure, here are 10 possible course topics within the niche of online course creation. Course Creation 101, an introduction to creating and selling online courses, creating engaging content for online courses, building your course on a budget, designing accessible and inclusive online courses. Well, that's something interesting that I wouldn't necessarily have thought about. Marketing your online course, advanced course creation, creating multimedia content for online courses. So you can see that these are all aspects of online course creation rather than just the broad topic. And it may be that, well, here are in fact 10 micro courses that I could make specifically about course creation. Again, we're a bit meta here, aren't we? And then it says, of course, the above are just some of the examples, and there are many more possible course topics within the niche of online course creation, depending on your specific interest and area of expertise. Now, this is something else that I like about ChatGPT that you don't get with certainly the built-in tools on Kajabi. It is very much as if you are asking somebody and they're giving you their opinion or their output, their opinion, but then they're sort of prefacing it with something or, giving you some context to it as well. And what we're talking about here in terms of ChatGPT is only just scratching the surface of what it's capable of. I also use it to create code snippets, to create macros in Excel and various other things like that. And when you get into some of that stuff, it is very good at telling you, all the things to be conscious of when you're using it. I've had it create AppleScript and things like that, and it will tell you these are the criteria when this will work. This is something to be wary of. This code won't work in this circumstance. And so just to reiterate that these things, it is answering my question, but then it is also giving me some additional context around it. So that, I think, is something that makes this stand out above some of the other platforms. So there we've got 10 potential, topic ideas. What we may want to do is in the research section, where the next step, let's say we choose one of these, we may want to research something about that. So what you could ask it to do is, as I say, you're not going to use the AI to do the research. You don't want to trust the AI in terms of, getting factual information, because it can often be wrong, especially, as I say, on some niche topics. So you never want to rely on this. You've always got to be the one with the knowledge. But you may want to know something about, where to go and look. And you can use it just as you might use Google. So I could type in here, for example, list the top 10 resources to learn about online course creation. I may want to go and research some of those and see what other people are offering. So it says here are a list of online resources. It's starting with Udemy, which is an online learning platform to host courses, Coursera, and so on, Skillshare. So it's actually listing a number of platforms, but you can see here, the point of me using this was just to show that you can use it in the same way that you might use Google. But whereas with Google, if you were to search about, online course creation, you may get a list of, websites, and you're going to get some sponsored things. This can be a great way to just get sort of a more concise list that isn't, that isn't just links to lots of other things that people might have just sort of paid to get up there. So that is the sort of step 3 that we talked about, researching your topic. And as I say, this is all quite general and vague so far. Where I think this really starts coming into its own, though, is the things from course outline onwards. So step 1 was to outline your course. So here you can be a bit more specific than when we looked at the one in Kajabi. Basically, you just put your topic and then it's going to spit out the answer or the course outline. But here we could say create 5 titles for a course about Kajabi for online course creation, aimed at beginners who are new to the platform. So you can be a lot more sort of nuanced about what you're specifically asking it for. So let's get 5 titles for this potential course. We already got some earlier on, didn't we? But let's just let's see what this is coming out with first of all. So Kajabi 101, Introduction to Creating Your First Online Course. And it's got some options there. So you could say here, I like the, which one? Kajabi for Beginners, Creating and Selling Your First Online Course. I like the 4th one. And then it says here's a course description. The reason why, by the way, I say rather than just saying, write me a course outline for the 4th one, but I like this one, is I'm interested to see what it is going to come back and give me based on that. So it's going to have its own ideas. So let it tell you what it's interested in. Hey Doc, great to see you here. I will be getting onto that as well. So yeah, when we get into that, I find is specifically useful when you get onto doing things like emails and actually more written script rather than titles and stuff like that. But yeah, totally adding in things like that, telling it the style and things like that you want in the writing. So here we've got, though, this is basically an introduction to the course. So now let's say write a course outline for the course, or write an outline for the course even. So then it's going to give us that outline. And you'll notice here as well, this again is coming back to this conversational style. Write an outline for the course. It's going to know what course we're talking about because it's part of the flow of the conversation. If you were to switch to a different conversation, it would be related to that other conversation, and you could always come back to this later and just pick up where you left off. But here we've got a list of modules. So the next step then would be, assuming we've got the course outline done, and assuming I'm assuming at every stage of this that we're just happy with it. Obviously, you would go in and tweak all of these different things and tailor it specifically, and be checking for any errors, making sure you'd covered everything. But for the purposes of this demonstration, let's just say that I want to make a video for module 1. So I could say write a video script for module 1. And then it is obviously knowing what module 1 is because it's provided it. And what I like about this is it's going to give you in this case, it's giving you a series of slides. So it's saying voiceover and it's telling you what the voice is, but then it's also got slides that you might put up with titles and things like that. In some cases, it gives you different information in terms of, these sort of scenes, any B-roll and things like that as well. So it's, as you can see, the point of this is it's really easy to actually create these outlines, create these initial drafts for you to work with. And if you were to go through this process for your area of expertise, I was talking with someone just earlier this week on a consultation call that, they were thinking about creating a course, but weren't sure exactly the steps to take or where to start. This would be an ideal way to go about that, because you could effectively have your course niche topic, your course title, you could have your description of it to give you an idea of how to frame that, and then your course outline, and then for each of those individual modules you could even have a starter for a video script to then go in and sort of edit to your heart's content. So next, creating your course content. So that's what we've just done there, and we've created the video script. Step 6 was select your online course platform in terms of my my 12 steps. Obviously, I'm recommending Kajabi, link to that in the description. And then we come to pricing your course. And as I mentioned before, this is something that people often have issues with, not knowing quite how to position it or thinking about different pricing options. Let's just try this. If I come in here and type in create a pricing model for the course. So I'm just going to paste this in here. So this is another example of it prefacing it. So as an AI language, I don't have any authority to create pricing models for courses. However, I can suggest some factors that you may want to consider when developing a pricing model. Course length, complexity, target audience, course format, and so on. So when you are asking it questions, it can still give you some meaningful answers, even if it's not going to give you like the price, because obviously it can't know what the value of the content that you're providing is and so on. However, it has helped with even this step. So it's really useful to use ChatGPT and think of referring to it at every step, because it may just provide some, it sounds weird to say it's providing some insight, but it is in a way. It's providing you with some prompt for a way to think about something that you may not have previously thought about. But this is going to give you some little bit of help and guidance along that way too. So then you would want to, once you've got your pricing sorted, you would want to create a launch plan for the course. And this is something that it certainly can help with. And here is where you can start to add in more detail as well. I've been sort of basic in the commands, just asking it very simple things so far. But here you might want to say, write a launch plan for the course covering promotion through online video, social media, and email. And if you click on this one, here it's going to give you a launch plan. So here we've got pre-launch, set a launch date and create a launch timeline, create a landing page for the course with an email opt-in form, create a video trailer for the course. And by the way, every one of these you could literally just copy and have that say create the landing page, create the video trailer, or create the video trailer script, I should say. Online video promotion, use the course trailer video to create short teaser clips for social media and your website. It's basically writing it all out for you. As I say, you want to go through and add in your own spin on this, but it is great as an initial thing. It's got email promotion, so it's talking about the various different steps in email promotion, post-launch, so what you're going to do after launch. Launching an online course can be a lot of work, but with the right promotion strategy, you can reach a wide audience and achieve your goals. Remember to stay flexible and adjust your strategy as necessary, as needed, based on your performance and feedback of your audience. So it's pretty good as an initial stab at giving you an idea of how to go about launching your course, and certainly it will have been it will give you some ideas if this is something that is completely new to you and you've never launched a course before. Create a lead magnet was one of the things in those 12 steps. It always helps to have a way to obviously bring people into your email database. If you're going to promote to an email database, you need to have that email database. And one of the ways to do that is by offering lead magnets, just as I'm doing today, by offering a lead magnet where I share these 12 steps and a whole series, more than I'm going into right now in this video, but a whole series of prompts that you can use and more advanced prompts that you can use to get more out of ChatGPT and get better results. But that's all in the PDF, which is linked down in the description, and also I linked to it earlier in the chat as well. But then if we come on to how to do that, so let's say that I wanted to create an outline for a lead magnet for this course. So we could just literally ask it to do that. Again, I'm being quite basic today, just so that we're not going through in full detail of all these. And there's a lot more nuances that you can add to it. But I'm just going to go through, and you can see that even at its most basic, you are going to get a really good starting point for every one of those 12 steps. So create an outline for a lead magnet for the PDF. Sure, here's an outline for a lead magnet for the course. Title, 10 steps to creating and selling your first online course with Kajabi. So bear in mind, I'm asking it to create a course which is kind of like a beginner's guide to Kajabi. So the lead magnet it's created is called 10 steps to creating and selling your first course with Kajabi. Introduction, explain the purpose of the lead magnet and how... so this is just telling me that to explain the purpose of the lead magnet and what it's going to do. This is creating just the outline. Define your target audience, and it's given me instructions here. Discuss the importance of defining. And what I like about this is when I ask for an outline of the lead magnet, it is giving me the outline, but it isn't actually just giving me all of the text. So it's telling me what I need to do. And so there I am very much putting my own words into it rather than just taking what the AI has done. You can obviously also ask it to do that, write the introduction, write the step 1, step 2, and so on. But here it's actually just prompting me of what to actually put in my own words. So I like that approach of doing it rather than just getting some pre-written stuff. It's prompting you to do the work, really. But like I say, you could use AI at every one of those individual stages as well. So assuming that you've got the lead magnet, you may then want to create, which was step 10, to create the sales page. You obviously need a page to sell your course. So I'm going to just ask it quite simply to do that. And once again, I'm being really basic here just to show you the process of what's possible. Create a sales page for the course. Sure, here's a possible sales page for the Kajabi Beginner's Guide, creating and selling your first online course. Course title, course description. So there's a bit of a description about it. And then it's telling you, in this course, you'll learn to navigate the Kajabi platform, create engaging course content, and set up your course for successful selling. So it's just writing all of this content. And this basically relates back to what we looked at previously with the landing page. So if I come back to that just for a second, I'll just flip away from ChatGPT to the Kajabi AI creator tools. This would be the landing page. If you remember, this is what Kajabi gave us for the landing page, unlock Kajabi mastery. And there was a little bit of information there and 3 bullet points here. Sort of value propositions, and then we've got the sort of call to action at the bottom. So if I come back to what ChatGPT is creating, you can see that this is actually quite a more significant amount of text. And you can obviously do this with a video. There's 2 styles of landing page when it comes to selling a course. Generally, you're either going to have something that's really not got a huge amount of text on it, but is video orientated, in which case you could use this as the script for the video. And so people are landing on it, they're watching the video, and then they're clicking whether they want it or not. Coming back to the idea of sales funnels, that's one thing, by the way, about Kajabi that I really love is it is a very integrated platform with not just course hosting and creation, but it's also got not just the course hosting, it also does the video hosting, but also does a really good job at creating sales funnels as well. And previously I was using ClickFunnels, which is a dedicated sales funnel platform. And I was really surprised when I came over to Kajabi that actually their sales funnel integration, I would say, is a lot more user-friendly even than ClickFunnels, which in theory, that's all it's intended to do. So I really like that about Kajabi. But yeah, basically when you've got a landing page, a sales page, you're going to probably have one of 2 things. Either it's going to be a video with a button to buy or to go to the next step in the funnel, or you might have something that has got a lot of text on it, so more like a sales letter style approach. And this would be the sort of text that you could have on there. You can see that it's giving an outline of the course. And that's basically as well relating back to the modules that we had earlier. And then it's giving course benefits. So, what are they going to get from it? Then it's recommending the course price, the button, and it's telling you in sort of brackets what those are, guarantee statement, contact information, and so on. So it's done a pretty comprehensive job there of actually writing the whole thing. You may want to write a video script as well to launch the course. Maybe that's a separate thing. Maybe it's going to be on the page. So if I come in here and just click here, write a script for a video to promote and launch the course. So maybe this is a video that's going to lead people into that particular page. So here, if I ask it to do that, it's writing a video script. And you can see here it's telling you what the voiceover is. And again, we've got some slides. Sometimes it's slides, sometimes it recommends B-roll. So, you can ask it to change that. If you say, what B-roll should I include in that, you'd be able to do something like that. You get the idea though. It's just coming out with the full script that you might use for the video. And so that was step 11 to create a promotional video. And then we get on to launching the course. You're going to want to send out an email sequence for the course. So you could ask it to do just that. I'm going to just stop generating. You can always stop it at any point. But if I was to say, let's say I wanted to do like a sequence of emails to launch the course. So create a sequence of 5 emails to launch the course. And again, still just referencing the conversation, the course, it knows what that is. Sure, here's a sequence. And what I've done here as well is ask it to write a sequence of 5 emails. What I could do as well is I could be very specific and say, and give timings as to when those should be sent out. So here it's giving me email 1 and the subject line and the content. I would say that this is going to be much better than certainly the email generator that we looked at in Kajabi itself. So just coming back to Kajabi for a moment while that does its thing. This email content generator, as I mentioned, I wasn't much for the overall structure of this in terms of, where it was mentioning the price and, things like that. I think that there's a bit of a better way to organize that from a sales email point of view. But ChatGPT is still whirring away here, and we're up to email number 3. I'm just going to stop generating this right now, but I just want to sort of highlight, if I click stop generating, what it's got here is email 1. So in a traditional sort of email sequence that you might have, to your database announcing a course, the first thing is going to be the announcement. This course is coming soon. We're excited to announce this new course coming out. Email 2 is course features. You're going to go into more depth about the various features of the course. And as you can see, it's listing these all here. So again, adding your own spin to it, but as a framework, this is a really great starting point. Email 3, testimonial, adding that sort of proof, social proof, if you like, and then so on and so forth. And then email 4, deadline reminder. If you've got a launch offer, you want to make sure that people know when that launch offer expires, and so on. And I stopped it here, but there would have been a 5th email with something else relevant as well. So that is how you can use that to create not just a single bit of text, but multiple different things. You may want to just say, right, well, I want to create what are the value propositions of the course? And you could say something like this: create a bullet list of 5 key benefits of the course. And you may want to say, well, create 10, and then you can just pick which ones you're going to use. And here it's listing a list of key benefits of this imaginary course, which I may well soon make. Comprehensive understanding of how to use Kajabi to create and sell your first online course. Easy to follow tutorials and step-by-step guidance. Expert-led instruction from an experienced online course creator. Add access to supportive community of, so it's just giving you these value propositions basically, and you can go through and just add in, choose whichever of these you want, or expand on them, or, adjust the wording as you see fit. You may also, as you're going through creating emails, you might want to drop that in, expanding on that previous email. You may want to add a call to action. So you could ask it to, write the call to action for you. So write a short call to action to sign up to the course. And then it's going to give you something like this. Don't miss out on this opportunity to learn how to use Kajabi to create and sell your first online course. With step-by-step tutorials, expert-led instruction, and supportive community, you'll have everything you need to create and launch a successful online course. Enroll now using the button below and take the first step towards achieving your course creation goals. So as a call to action, that's pretty good, in terms of just the overall wording. What you will find is if you are going through and doing this, so I outlined a whole series of courses going through this process as a starting point, you will find that there is some similarities. If I was to ask it the same question again, let's just say exactly the same thing again and see what it comes up with. Because usually it doesn't give you exactly the same thing. So here it says, ready to create and sell your first online course with Kajabi. Join our Kajabi for beginners, blah, blah, blah. So there you can see what it's doing. You could then also just ask for, more specific things in terms of the language that it's using and so on. So just continue the conversation with it. But you're not going to get exactly the same thing out by asking the same question. And in fact, one of those earlier that I've done before, when I asked for a pricing structure, for example, let me just try that again, because give me a pricing structure for the course. Sometimes, it'll say, see, this is one that we asked earlier, and it said, oh, I can't really tell you because I don't know the value of the course and so on. But here we've asked it the same question again, and now it's giving us some more options. So we've got option 1, a one-time payment of $297. Obviously, you're going to have to judge what the real value of it is. This option gives students full access to the course, content, and community for life without any additional fees or renewals. Option 2 is a 3-month payment of $117. This option breaks up the course into 3 monthly payments, making it more affordable to students. Both options include access, so it's going to give you these options. You may get it giving you a subscription model. So it certainly is worth, when you're working through all these things, asking the same questions or asking the same questions in a different way and seeing what it comes out. You're not looking to basically put in questions and then it write all of this for you. You're looking for it to help prompt you and give you ideas. And so asking the same question in a different way also can help you do that. Now, let's just say that somebody's got to the point of buying the course, but then maybe they didn't actually go through and click purchase. Well, that's where cart abandonment emails comes in. So you've probably got these if you've been and looked at something, and then you get an email that says, hey, we noticed you were interested in this, but you haven't taken action. You may want to be cautious about how many abandonment emails you send to people, because maybe they've looked at it and they've seen the price and they're not interested. But people often do look at something and there is a genuine reason why they haven't gone through and made the purchase. In some cases, let's say you're running a Facebook ads campaign for a lead magnet or a landing page or something like that. Sometimes people are looking at something, they see it on Facebook on the ad, they go through to a landing page, they look at it, and they're traveling, they're interested in it, but they haven't got round to actually completing, and then they lose the page and so on. So there is a real use case for sending these cart abandonment emails, which come after you've looked at something but haven't taken action. And so you could ask ChatGPT to write those for you. So write a sequence of 3 cart abandonment emails for the course and include when they should be sent. So that last part is really for you to understand, timing. So let's see what it's going to come up with this. So now it's going to write these emails. Email 1, reminder, when to send, 1 hour after cart abandonment. Subject line, don't miss out on creating your first online course with Kajabi. Hi, we noticed that you added Kajabi Beginner's Guide, blah, 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 to your cart but didn't purchase. And then it's just giving you some things there to prompt them to, with our easy to follow tutorials, expert-led instruction, you'll have everything you need to create and launch a successful online course. Hopefully this is obvious by now. This is all happening in real time. This is a live video, and ChatGPT is just writing all this as I'm literally sitting here with you, watching it come up on the screen at the same time. But then it's got, again, the second email, when to send, 24 hours after cart abandonment. So that's giving you the information you need when you go in to do this in Kajabi or whichever course hosting platform you're doing, to go in and understand when you need to set these to go out in terms of that automation. And there we've got there. You may also want to say, let's say they do sound up. Send a confirmation of no, not send. Create an email confirmation for signing up to the course. So let's see what it's going to say here. Giving us an initial draft to use as the framework for what we're going to put in our own words, in our own voice. Thank you for enrolling in the Kajabi course. We're excited to have you as a student and can't wait to help you create your first online course. You'll receive an email very shortly. In the meantime, here are some important details about the course, and so on. So what we've done there in basically just under an hour is, as well as giving an overview of Kajabi tools and also to ChatGPT, we've gone through all of those 12 steps. And if I documented all of these different things, which, we've got it here in the chat history, and you'll also find it in that free PDF that you can download, which goes through all the 12 steps. And I've included some other prompts. You've seen what I've done. It's basically a natural language thing, but I've included more prompts in there that go into more depth. And, add some more of that nuance in terms of, the voice that you want to speak in. I could have written this, asked for this in more of a jovial voice, more of a professional voice, more of a, you can add these kind of nuances to the actual, the way that the text is written and formatted and so on. So you can get all of that in that free PDF. But basically, though, you can see how, as I say, within an hour, we've now got our course title, we've got a course outline, and we've got all of these things, even down to the script, the email sequence, the timings of it. I can't stress enough how much of a game changer this is for general course creation. I mean, it's certainly for the courses that I've been creating. So I'm launching a subscription model for all of my courses, and I've got a whole series of other masterclasses, beginner's guide, and also accelerator programs where basically they're more in-person cohort style courses. And using this as a tool to give them those initial outlines has just been priceless, really. And as I say, it does have a price if you want to get the full access to ChatGPT without any potential limitations when there are, heavy traffic. And as I say, it's $20 a month. Well, $20, I think you can see within 1 hour, it's pretty much paid for itself. I don't know what your hourly rate is, but if this can't pay for itself in an hour, you need to be charging more. So I highly recommend giving it a go. I'll just quickly drop into the chat as well. because I realize I've been neglecting everyone in there. Hey, Michael, great to see you here. I'm not sure. Hang on, Doc. This is Doc. Doc taught a workshop on ChatGPT at a local news station. It's just the applications of this, as I mentioned, earlier on. I've just been scratching the surface of it with what I've covered today in this. I go into more depth in the download that I've got, but even that, for just creating text and things like that, it's really, that is still just scratching the surface. When you get into the sort of stuff that Doc's been doing as well, and when you get into using it for code, writing scripts, writing all this kind of stuff, writing Excel macros, something else I've used it for, it's really great at just getting all of that initial heavy lifting done. So it's quite amazing. But great to see you here, Michael. Thanks for stopping by. And hey, Michelle, I know Michelle's been really going hard on ChatGPT and Jasper, and which is one of the other platforms, using it for her blog creation and course creation. Great to see you here, Michelle. Paul, don't. Michelle, don't break it. Leave it intact for the rest of us. So yeah, the thing about it, Rob, is that there are going to be people out there, I'm sure, who are going to use the AI to create content, courses, blogs, and things like that completely unchecked. So they're going to go through and promote themselves as an expert in a field without having the real knowledge. But the trouble is, you do have to have whatever it is. I could get it to give me a whole script on how to be a top class DJ. But the trouble is, I'm not going to see the flaws in it. If you were to get it and to write something about DJing equipment, songwriting, production, studio production, studio creation and stuff like that, you're going to know where it's wrong. And it's people who are going to use this thinking that they don't need to have the skill that are going to get caught out by it, because people will see through it when there are glaring errors in it, especially when you get into something that's hyper niched. So it certainly is a massive time saver, but you've still got to have the underlying knowledge to know, as I say, when it's not quite right, or when there's something that's a little bit off by it. And you also want to have it that it's got your voice in it as well. So using it to create these frameworks and these scripts and then adding your own spin on it is really the way to maximize the value, because you still want it to sound like you. If I was to suddenly create a script for a video and be reading a script, not that I do that, but if I was to do that and it was in it didn't sound like me, then it wouldn't really work too well. However, I could get it to write a script for a video, and then I could add my own my own dull, monotonous tones to it. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. Let me just see. Thanks, Rich, for dropping the link in. You can find that in the description as well. I'm actually going to add some more stuff into that based on the the stuff we've covered today as well, just so it relates back to this. So I'll update that with that. I am indeed. That's the thing about it, though. I wanted to go through and do this as a a step-by-step thing, because it just shows that you can actually within an hour just follow through. I mean, in that PDF that I've linked to, you'll just be able to literally copy and paste prompts, and it will give you within moments you'll have a whole body of course content, course outlines, and stuff like that. Well, thanks, Paul. Yeah, and the PDF as well. I know there's been a load of people jumping on the ChatGPT. You're paying for the things, but I'm not doing anything that others aren't doing. I don't think. I'm just hoping that this video today puts it into a logical audience specifically for course creation. And this is why I'm doing this today, and why I've also created that PDF as well. So Michelle, I found the same to be true while working with it. I found out today how to use certain prompts to help you pass an AI detector. Interesting. That's an interesting concept, the AI detector. One of the things to know about this as well, which is something that I'll lead into this comment, is that this is basically learning from everything else that's available to it on the internet prior to, I forget the date actually, but prior to a certain point. There is a way that you can get it to look at more recent stuff. But basically, it's just looking back at existing content. And so that's the first thing. It's only as good as its reference pool. You can be more specific about where it's taking its reference from. So I could say, get me information about X, Y, and Z, but search only in, these sources. And if I select the expert sources, then it's going to get a much better response than just a general thing. So again, you can get really sort of nuanced with it. But it is referencing existing stuff. And as more and more people are using AI, I wonder in a few years' time, it'll probably get clever by then to understand about this. But, to be able to decipher between, soon the AI will be creating AI content from other AI content. If it's searching all blog posts about course content creation, and then everyone uses AI to create blog posts about course content creation, then at what point does the AI start reading its own stuff or other AI stuff? It's a sort of interesting loop there that we might get into. But yeah, having AI detectors. So I'm not sure about which ones those are, but the ability to be able to tell when something is created by AI. By the way, I haven't talked in here about image AI. So there are things like Midjourney, which is a platform that creates images. So if you want to create, your logo for your course, images for, your presentations and things like that, you can use Midjourney. That's a whole nother video in itself to create this imagery. There's also a really creepy one called synesthesia.io, which is basically you can take the script that you've got here and put it into that, and that will have a humanoid form read that. In fact, let me just bring that up for you, because what's it called? Synthesia, I think. Because this is basically where I'll just drop the link into this. Synthesia video AI platform. I'll just drop this in the chat. So if I bring this one up onto my screen share, and you'll have a look what this looks like. There you go. So that is you can type in your text, and then you can have this person actually read the text for you. So if you're going to have like talking head videos or things where you're going to promote a course, I wouldn't recommend using these. They are still, it's got that sort of what's it called, uncanny valley type thing where you can tell it's not quite right. But there's basically, you can have choose the person. So if I click on this watch demo, you'll see that there is various different people. Perhaps it's going to show you. You can choose who you want to have be the person that's reading. Let me I'll stop this now. Stop this because it's got weird audio going on. But basically, yeah, you can have it read things. So imagine that you create your scripts for your video in ChatGPT, and then you use Synthesia to actually read them. It gets a bit spooky. Same with the voices. So in things like Descript, you've got the overdub feature. So Descript is used for editing your videos, taking your text of whatever it is you're saying and transcribing it. But it works the other way, where you can actually create the text that you want it to say, and then use overdub to actually either simulate your own voice for reading that text, or you can use one of the built-in ones. I do find that it's better with these sort of things to just actually read your own stuff, though, just from a point of view of, again, it sounding right. You can always tell when it is an AI generated voice, I think, personally, in the video. You've probably seen it yourself in shorts, TikTok videos and things like that, where they'll have an AI voice reading something that's blatantly just been typed and reading out. So yeah. Thanks, Michael. I'm glad you found it useful. And as I say, you can grab that PDF. I'm just going to add in a few extra things to it as well, and then that'll be all sent out. Hopefully that is the people who disappear right away. Hopefully that is the people using it without actually having the knowledge. or the people that are selling all of this stuff about AI and how to use it as well. A load of people jumping on that bandwagon that are purporting to be experts in it, having only used it for the same amount of time as the rest of us. So I don't purport to be an expert, but I've just developed a bit of a workflow for this specific use case. Yeah, that's the other thing. People are talking about, will AI take over people's jobs? Will it take people's jobs? No, you've still got to actually have the knowledge to understand whether it's right or not. But it's certainly, if you are in a particular field, it can dramatically improve your productivity at your job. So I see it as only being a positive. It's only going to help you be more productive at the thing that you're already great at. There are indeed 80,000 people teaching ChatGPT. And well, that's exactly what I said. None of us are experts, even the people who wrote it, but we are shaping it and how it will work later. So we can complain or help make it better. That's it. We've all got our own little niches that we've, own little use cases that we've developed. If you've got a link to that video doc that you did about, I know that there's a few other source videos as well around that, but being able to say to Siri, ask Siri to write these things for you and have it on your mobile or on your desktop or whatever is great. So if you've got a link to that video, I'll find it and drop it in the description. But yeah. Hey Michael, great to see you here. Thanks for staying up late in the UK. It's originally .ai detector. Which one's that? Oh, I see. That's the AI detector. Got you. Originality.ai is the AI detector. Interesting. I have not heard of that. Let me just have a look and see what that looks like. Originality.ai. Maybe I'm typing that wrong. Let's have a look here, see what this gives us. Not sure. Maybe I'm missing that. But yeah, having the it is the I've just realised how I digressed. Yeah, you can sort of tell these things. They do look a little bit generic sometimes in terms of what it's giving you. Oh, thanks, Doc. That is the video. I shall just copy that link there as well, and I'll drop that in the description afterwards for everyone watching. But yeah, that's the video that Doc did about basically how you can use the API from ChatGPT. So it does have an API that allows you to access it where you don't need to be in the browser. Everything that I've been doing today has been on the browser, but you can use their API to integrate it. This is how other software and services have integrated it into their platforms, but you can also use that. And so you can create shortcuts on the Mac that access the API, and then have those accessed using Siri. So you can say to Siri, hey Siri, write me a video description for a video about X, Y, and Z. So yeah, that was a great video, Doc, and thanks for that. I'll put that back in the description as well. So that's where we're up to with AI. Now, normally I would say, oh, there we go. Siri's just starting up on my iPad. Thank you very much. I shouldn't have mentioned her name. So that's about all for AI. Now, normally I would say, yeah, here's a link to some other videos on this topic, but this is the first video I've done on AI. However, for those watching on the replay, I will leave a link to some of my Kajabi videos over on the right-hand side. Don't forget to go and grab that PDF. Thanks everyone for hanging out, and a real massive thank you to all of my channel members for your ongoing support. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great day, everyone. See you next time.